All right, so we're back to me. So my third team is the Raptors. So this was actually, I was debating between two things, and while I was researching, I saw a tweet, and I agree with it, so I'm going to kind of incorporate both of them. So this will all come full circle. So to start with, the easy one before I get into any stats is they need a big. They need a true center. I don't need to go into why, but that's an obvious thing we're seeing. They're just not adequate at defending in the paint. They're not adequate at getting rebounds. They're not really that great at inside scoring. Pascal is a 4, and that's where he should be.
Yep.
But flipping it over, the bigger need is 3-point shooting. So the Raptors last season were terrible at shooting threes. They're worse this year. They, as a team, are shooting 32% from 3. The only teams in the league, there's only 2 of them that are shooting worse than them. Lakers are the worst, and then the Rockets. The issue is shooters are, I don't know if you've been following basketball for the last few years, but shooters are a hot commodity. There's not just a plethora of them on the trade block all the time. So this leads me to the trade, and this was a trade suggestion I saw on Twitter, and it's perfect because it's not an expensive trade. It fixes both of, in my opinion, their issues, and it's something that's pretty realistic.
For some reason, I think this involves Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, but go on.
It doesn't. It absolutely does not. It shores up 2 spots with 2 role players, one of which would be starting, but just someone... I'm just going to go to it. So, it's Jakob Poeltl and Doug McDermott. 2 depth guys. Poeltl could start. But McDermott gives you someone that you can have off the bench. You can have him start occasionally. And he's one of the best flamethrowers in the league. Bring him in, throw some off-ball screens on him. He's going to hit shots for you. He's going to help you come back from a deficit. He's going to help you close out games. I struggled finding anything else for the Raptors because once I saw how bad they were shooting, I knew it had to be something with shooting. But as I looked through the list of shooters in the league, there's not a lot available in terms of starter caliber or even 6th, 7th man. So I think they need to go a different route. Get someone that can come off the bench, even if it's a little deeper on the bench. I think McDermott could be a 7th, 8th man, and just start grinding that shooting percentage back up, because right now there's not a lot of threat from the Raptors. When you're game planning the Raptors, you're clogging the paint.
Do you believe that the Raptors and the Bulls are in extremely similar spots? Because I think they are.
I think they're... Yeah, because I think Pascal had that breakout year. It's the same thing as Levine.
Yep.
Had a breakout year, and they decided to build around him. And I don't know if that was necessarily the case, or necessarily the right choice. I think they should have brought someone in to pair with them, but not build around them.
So, I'm looking at the roster for the Raptors right now.
Mm-hmm.
They actually only have 1 listed center on the entire roster. And that's Kim Birch.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, center is their biggest need positionally, but you have to find a way to get that shooting up. And so that's why I saw that trade, and it just made too much sense to me.
No, you're not right.
Yeah. You said Miles Turner with Buddy Hield. That would be a good fix, but that's a more expensive fix.
That's a very expensive fix.
Unless you're going to win this year, I don't think the Raptors would be a contending team then.
No, that's why I think they're in the same spot as the Bulls. I think they're pretty close to purgatory. They're pretty close to purgatory.
I don't think... The reason I say they're not close to purgatory is they have someone by the name of Scotty Barnes on their team.
He has a lot of potential, yes.
He has a lot of potential, and like, yes, they have valuable pieces that they're comfortable moving. Like, I'm a big fan of Gary Trent Jr., but they're obviously comfortable moving him. Fred VanVleet, they made a monetary commitment to him, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up moving him. For whatever reason, they've thrown all the eggs in the basket into Pascal, and so I don't see them moving on from him. But they do have pieces to go out and get quality players to either jumpstart a rebuild or just do a quick little retooling. I think trading OG would be a bad choice, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see him be on the move in 57 days or whenever the trade deadline is.
See, I think you need to move Pascal just because he's taking the 4 position, taking up $35 million of contract money, and he's not really outperforming Precious Atu yet, who is his big player. So I think you move him, you could start Achuya. I think he could be a Kenneth Faried type player on the Nuggets when he was actually decent. When he was actually the manimal.
I think the thing about Pascal is I think Pascal is a very talented, quality NBA player.
Yeah.
He's not $39 million worth, though.
He's not, and I think that Toronto has kind of heavily invested in him as the current face of the franchise, for better or worse, and
I think it should be Scotty, but yeah.
I 100% agree it should be Scotty. But I think for right now, it is Pascal. And I just don't know how you move on from that. But that's all I got for the Raptors.